Seduction isn't just about romance. It's about influence, persuasion, and control. It's a psychological weapon wielded by history's most powerful figures, from Cleopatra and Casanova to modern politicians, CEOs, and master manipulators. These principles shape not just relationships, but business, politics, and the way people interact on a daily basis. In today's world, power isn't about brute force. It's about controlling emotions, crafting an irresistible image, and making people want to follow you. The most successful leaders, influencers, and marketers use these techniques effortlessly, often without anyone realizing. At its core, seduction is an art of psychological mastery. It comes in many forms: the charismatic, the coquette, the rake, each with their own weapons of persuasion. The key tactics: mystery, confidence, emotional control, and an almost hypnotic ability to draw people in. Those who understand these principles don't just attract others, they dominate. Part 1. The Seductive Archetypes. Who controls the game? Seduction isn't one size fits all. Green identifies 9 types of seducers, each with a unique way of drawing people in. Every powerful figure in history falls into one of these categories. The charismatic, people follow them because they radiate confidence, passion, and energy. Think Elon Musk or Donald Trump. Whether you love them or hate them, they command attention. The coquette. They are elusive, giving just enough to keep people wanting more. This is the mystique of Marilyn Monroe, or the hard-to-get strategy used in marketing. The rake, masters of intense desire. They make their targets feel uniquely special. Think of rock stars like Mick Jagger, or modern influencers who create cult-like followings. The siren. Think of Cleopatra, or modern Instagram influencers who use allure, mystery, and sensory overload to capture attention. Why this matters? Brands, politicians, and even social media influencers master these archetypes to make people obsess over them. Every time you find yourself drawn to someone without knowing why, they're using one of these seductive strategies. Part 2. The Invisible Strings. How seduction creates. Emotional addiction. Seduction isn't about looks. It's about control. The best seducers don't chase. They make others crave their presence. And the secret? It's all about emotional addiction. Think about the most influential people in history. They never forced their way in. Instead, they made others feel something so intense that they became unforgettable. How seduction hooks the mind. Create mystery. People are obsessed with what they can't fully understand. This is why luxury brands, Hollywood celebrities, and even cult leaders never reveal everything at once. They leave gaps that people desperately try to fill. Example: why is James Bond irresistible? It's not just the suit, it's the mystery. The fact that you never know everything about him. Mix pleasure with pain. The strongest emotional bonds aren't built on comfort. They're built on unpredictability. This is why toxic relationships can feel so addictive, because they create a roller coaster of emotions. Example: social media apps use this on you. Sometimes your post gets tons of likes. Sometimes it's ignored. That unpredictability keeps you hooked. Become the center of their world. The best seducers don't just attract people. They reshape their reality. When someone thinks about you even when you're not there, you've won. Example: think about a movie that completely changed your mindset. You couldn't stop thinking about it for days. That's what true seduction does. It lingers in the mind. Why this matters. The most powerful people in the world, from politicians to business moguls, use these tactics to keep people loyal, obsessed, and emotionally invested. If you don't recognize these strategies, You're being manipulated without even knowing it. Part 3. The Dark Side of Seduction. How manipulators control you. Seduction isn't always about romance. It's about power. The most dangerous seducers in history, whether in politics, business, or relationships, didn't just attract people. They controlled them. How seduction becomes manipulation. Love bombing. The overwhelming trap. At first, they shower you with attention, gifts, and affection. They make you feel like you're the most important person in the world. But once you're emotionally hooked, they pull away, making you desperate to chase that initial high. Example, cult leaders do this. They promise enlightenment, belonging, and purpose, but only if you stay obedient. Mirroring, becoming your perfect fantasy. The best manipulators don't convince you. They reflect exactly what you want to see. They study your desires, your fears, your insecurities, then become the perfect person for you. Example, politicians do this. They don't tell you their true plans. They tell you what you already want to believe. Withholding and ghosting. The psychological chains. Once you're invested, they begin to withdraw affection and attention. This creates fear and anxiety, making you work even harder to get their approval back. Example, social media algorithms do this. They show you content randomly, keeping you addicted because you never know when the next reward is coming. Why this works? Humans are wired to crave validation, attention, and certainty. Manipulative seduction hijacks this wiring, keeping people emotionally trapped in relationships, jobs, ideologies, even entire belief systems. Part 4. Breaking Free. How to Resist. Manipulative Seduction. Once you understand the dark side of seduction, the next step is breaking free. The problem? Most people don't even realize they're being controlled until it's too late. How to spot. When you're being seduced and manipulated over the top flattery, it's never about you. If someone constantly praises you without really knowing you, it's not genuine. It's a tactic. The goal: lower your guard, make you trust them, and get you to crave their approval. Example, a boss who always tells you you're irreplaceable, but never gives you a raise. They create an emotional roller coaster. First, they pull you in with warmth and affection. Then, they withdraw without explanation. This creates obsession, because your brain is wired to chase what it can't have. Example, social media influencers use this. They disappear for weeks, then suddenly return with dramatic content, keeping their audience hooked. You start justifying their behavior. When seduction turns into manipulation, your instincts will scream at you. But instead of leaving, you make excuses for them. Example, they're just busy. They had a rough childhood, or they'll change. The reality, they won't change. They're conditioning you to accept mistreatment. How to escape and regain control. Look at their actions, not their words. If someone says they love and respect you, but their actions don't match, walk away. Manipulators rely on words. Leaders rely on action. Detach from the highs and lows. The moment you stop reacting emotionally to their tricks, their power over you disappears. Train yourself to see the pattern instead of being caught in it. Use their tactics against them. Instead of falling for their emotional traps, mirror their energy. Pull away before they do. Create mystery. Watch how fast they lose control. Part 5. The Science of Attraction. How to seduce without manipulation. Not all seduction is manipulative. In fact, true seduction isn't about deception. It's about understanding human psychology and naturally drawing people in. The core of attraction. What really works? Mystery is magnetic. The less predictable you are, the more people want to figure you out. Oversharing kills intrigue. Instead, reveal just enough to make them curious. Example: James Bond doesn't explain himself. His presence alone is enough to pull people in. Confidence trumps looks. Confidence isn't about arrogance. It's about certainty. People are drawn to those who own their space, make decisions without hesitation, and don't seek approval. Example: think about why some average-looking people command attention in a room. Their posture, voice, and energy signal dominance. Scarcity creates value. If you're too available, people take you for granted. The moment you pull back, they start chasing. Example: luxury brands do this all the time. Limited supply equals higher demand. The same applies to personal attraction. How to seduce with authenticity. Be present. People crave undivided attention. In a world full of distractions, giving someone 100% of your focus makes you stand out instantly. No phone checking, no zoning out, just deep, intentional presence. Master the power of suggestion. The best seducers don't ask for attention. They create an environment where people give it willingly. Use tone of voice, body language, and subtle gestures to create an emotional connection. Don't chase, draw people. In the more you need someone's validation, the less attractive you become. Instead, focus on building yourself. People are naturally drawn to those on a mission. Part 6. The 9 Seduction Archetypes. Which one are you? Every great seducer throughout history falls into a certain archetype, a distinct style of influence that works like a psychological weapon. Some do it effortlessly, while others craft it like an art. Here are the 9 most powerful seduction archetypes. Which one fits you? 1. The Siren, the ultimate temptation. This archetype seduces with sensuality and mystery. They use their body language, voice, and aura to create an irresistible pull. Example: Marilyn Monroe. Her breathy voice, slow movements, and effortless charm made her unforgettable. 2. The Rake, the romantic obsession. This is the person who makes you feel like you're the only one in the world. They shower you with attention, words, and intensity, making you crave more. Example: Casanova, who could charm anyone with his passionate energy. 3. The Charmer, the social genius. They don't seduce with sex, but with warmth, humor, and presence. They make everyone feel important, heard, and appreciated. Example: Bill Clinton. People described his ability to make them feel like they were the only person in the room. The Coquette, the master of playing hard to get. They create intense desire by being both close and distant. The more you chase, the more they pull away, creating obsession. Example: Cleopatra. She seduced some of history's most powerful men by never being fully available. 5. The Dandy, the unpredictable rebel. They reject traditional gender roles and stand out effortlessly. Their uniqueness and refusal to conform make them magnetic. Example: David Bowie. His androgynous style and artistic mystery drew people in. 6. The Natural, the effortless seducer. Their charm comes from innocence, playfulness, and authenticity. They make people feel comfortable and excited at the same time. Example: Tom Holland. His youthful energy and lack of pretense make him naturally likable. 7. The Star, the untouchable fantasy. They create a sense of distance and mystique, always slightly out of reach. Their life seems larger than life, making people want to be part of their world. Example: Rihanna. Cool, confident, and untouchable, yet completely mesmerizing. 8. The Seductive Boss. Power as an aphrodisiac. They command respect and attraction. At the same time, Their confidence, ambition, and dominance create a magnetic pull. Example, Jay-Z. His power and success make him endlessly attractive. 9. The enigma, the puzzle no one can solve. This is the silent, unreadable seducer who keeps people guessing. Their unpredictability makes them endlessly fascinating. Example, Keanu Reeves. His quiet nature and mysterious energy captivate people. Which one are you? Everyone leans toward a specific archetype, but the true seduction masters know how to mix them, depending on the situation. Part 7. Psychological triggers that make seduction unstoppable. Seduction isn't just about looks or charm. It's about triggering deep psychological responses that people can't resist. The best seducers know exactly how to hack the human brain to create attraction, obsession, and devotion. Here's how they do it. 1. Uncertainty, the most addictive emotion. When someone is unpredictable, it keeps people hooked. Giving attention, then pulling away, creates obsession. People chase what they can't fully have. Example, social media algorithms use this. Random likes and notifications make people keep checking for more. 2. Creating emotional highs and lows. Extreme emotions create strong bonds. This is why people get attached in intense relationships. The roller coaster effect. If you make someone experience intense excitement, followed by moments of uncertainty, they mistake the thrill for attraction. Example, toxic relationships often feel so passionate because they create constant emotional highs and lows. 3. The power of absence over exposure kills attraction. People take for granted what's always available. By stepping away at the right moment, you create a sense of loss, making people want you more. Example, luxury brands never go on sale because scarcity creates desire. 4. Making people feel special but not too special. The most effective seducers make people feel like they're the only one that matters for a moment. But if you make them feel too secure, attraction fades. Example, celebrities who give just enough personal attention to fans to make them feel noticed, but still untouchable. The halo effect, the illusion of perfection. When people associate you with something positive, they see you as more attractive. Being seen with powerful, successful, or attractive people makes you seem more valuable. Example, politicians take photos with celebrities to borrow their influence. 6. Mastering the art of storytelling. People fall for stories more than they fall for facts. If you make your life sound like a movie, people want to be part of it. Example, musicians and influencers don't just sell music or content. They sell a lifestyle that makes fans feel connected. The next level, turning seduction into influence. Seduction isn't just about romance. It's a tool for power, business, and social influence. In the final part, we'll break down how seduction is used in marketing, politics, and leadership to shape the world. Part 8. How seduction controls the world. Politics, business, and influence. Seduction isn't just about personal relationships. It shapes entire industries, political movements, and global trends. The most powerful people in the world don't force. They seduce. Here's how. 1. The political seduction. Winning power. Without force, leaders don't get elected by facts. They get elected by emotions. Every great politician knows how to make people feel understood, inspired, and hopeful, even when they don't deliver. Example, think of the most charismatic leaders in history. They didn't just have plans. They had a persona that made people follow them blindly. 2. The business of seduction. Why you buy what you buy. Companies don't sell products. They sell identities. Brands like Apple, Ferrari, and Chanel don't just advertise. They make you feel like you're part of an exclusive world. Example: why do people buy overpriced sneakers? Not because of quality, but because of the status they signal to others. The Hollywood effect, creating obsession and devotion. Celebrities are trained seducers. Their entire careers depend on making people obsessed with them. They use mystery, scarcity, and larger-than-life personas to keep people interested. Example: ever noticed how the most famous figures rarely reveal too much about their personal lives? Mystery fuels attraction. 4. Social media, the digital seduction machine. Social platforms manipulate human psychology the same way seducers do. They give you random rewards, likes, follows, notifications, to keep you addicted. Example: ever found yourself endlessly scrolling through TikToks or Instagram? That's not an accident. It's seduction at scale. 5. Cults, influencers, and movements. The dark side of seduction. Seduction can be dangerous when it's used to control and manipulate masses. Cult leaders, manipulative influencers, and extremist movements all use the same psychological tricks: charisma, exclusivity, and emotion. Example: some of history's most infamous figures gained power not through force, but by seducing their followers into blind loyalty. Final thought: the choice is yours. Seduction is everywhere. It's shaping your decisions, your beliefs, and even your desires, whether you realize it or not. The question isn't whether you'll be influenced. It's whether you'll learn to use seduction for yourself instead of being controlled by it. This is the hidden power no one talks about. The ones who master it. They don't just win in relationships, they win in life.